Okay, so this is my book review on Learning to Love Math by Judy Willis. I do want to mention a little bit about how I picked my book, just a short intro. And I didn't really know where to start, so I was reading and saw all these comments about a comic where a character was having problems with math and all these people relating to it and, feeling empathetic towards that character. And I was like, we shouldn't have a majority of students feeling that way. So I decided to find a book about how to love math or, to get better at math. And this was the one that I found that was the most relatable for me and easily accessible. So for my intro, a big problem I think that math teachers have with students, especially in middle school, is that they all come in the door going, "I hate math," and that's not what you want, right? You want them to come in excited and ready to learn, or ready to figure out what's going on. You go into a science classroom, you've got these fancy tables that go up and down. You've got lab equipment and stuff. That's fun, right? You go into a math room and you've got textbooks and dread now. At least that's what it feels like, I think, to, the students. And there's my little pointer. Um, so I wanted to look at how to change this by looking at this book called Learning to Love Math by Judy Willis. And, let's help our students love math or, feel a little more confident about it. So I have three key takeaways that I want to mention before the summary. And they are the chapter titles of this book. Well, three of them. Actually, it's kind of four of them, but the last two are I combined. And the first one's called Reversing Math Negativity with an Attitude Makeover. And that kind of made me laugh, right? We've got these like hormonal uh, preteens, and you're going, let's remake your attitude. But it has some good points. And then you have Reducing Mistake Anxiety. And then the last two that I combined are Can you change your intelligence? Yes, you can. And including motivating all your students. So let's go to the summary right quick. So, all about this book. I decided that the most important thing for me was really finding a method to have my students enjoy, tolerate, whatever, to really just, be engaged with math and not so, I have a wall up and I'm never going to learn math. I'm never going to be good at it. So Judy Willis gives many reasons for why students have decided that they aren't good at math. And she has all these approaches or strategies as well as how to change this, how to make it better. So there are a lot of reasons why they don't like math, and I'll go into that in a little bit. But she focuses on these scientifically proven facts to explain how these methods really work. That there is, a factual evidence behind them that proves that these things are working. And she has a background in neurology and a medical field and has done all this research on the brain and how it affects learning. And she ends the book with this really cool message called You have dedicated yourself to making a difference in the lives of your students, and because of that, you have changed the future. And I just found that really resonated with me, and I think will resonate with most teachers. So moving on, we have Get an Attitude Makeover. I have a little chapter title over here on the side, but this is my fun title just to make it a little more interesting. So when you ask a lot of students, or even adults still, most people will commonly tell you that their hated subject is math. And as it says, even among my own friends and family members, a lot of times my family is like, God, you guys are just so smart. And I'm like, honey, I'm not smart. I just, I'm interested in it. So I want to know more about it. And I think that's a big key to getting kids to learn is to, make them interested. But to do that, you got to work on their attitude towards math, to get them interested in it. So they have this already ingrained attitude, and it can really hurt the productivity of your students. And Judy Willis has a couple strategies, to work with that. So she has arrange family conferences, retest to de-stress, demonstrate the value of math, start the year showing that you care, and have students assess you. So family conferences is to kind of work through this whole, oh, my parents were bad at math, so I must be bad at math. Just kind of to get the parents in line, on the same page, get the students on the same page, and just get everybody working together. It's a team effort. And then retest to de-stress is something I think a lot of teachers kind of, argue about, but it has been proven that it is actually very helpful. It's kind of like teaching it, the more you can explain it, the better you are at it. So retesting, as she explained it, they have to explain kind of what they did wrong and how they fixed it. And it has this accountability measure to the students as well. They're learning more than just, how to resolve the problem. They're learning how to be responsible and really go about it in a mature way. And then demonstrating the value of math, showing what it can really do in the world, that it's more than just solving problems. Math is a way of thinking, it's a way of life almost. And it really will help them get through life. I mean, there are a lot of people in America and all these little videos that you can see where they're like, hey, can you tell me how much a 10% tip would be? And they can't do it. Do you want to be that person on the video? Do you want to get through life being able to handle problems? And math is something that really helps you with that. And then we have start the year showing that you care. Um, for a lot of students, having a teacher that just teaches and leaves, that it's just, they're just there. It's really not effective. They're not going to pay attention. They don't want to be there if you don't want to be there. So find out what they really enjoy, right? So like have some questions, ask them, what have teachers done in the past that you really like? And then also have them assess you, have them go, well, you do this and I really like that, maybe more like a mid-year thing or an end of year thing, that type of thing. So the next one is it's okay, don't be afraid. We're talking about reducing mistake anxiety. So uh, come to find out, students are more concerned about making mistakes in front of the class than on a test. And in this day and age, I'm not really surprised. We have a lot of people, dealing with peer pressure and stuff. So it's not too surprising that when you're standing in front of a group of judgmental teenagers, that you'd be afraid of it. So you really want your students to be as comfortable as possible. So working on making them comfortable in your classroom is really important, as well as encouraging participation and increasing attentive focus. Really getting them to participate and to be focused on what's going on in the classroom. So some helpful strategies that she talks about are calling on multiple students. This helps you from singling out just one person. So if they are feeling really, scared or anxious, it helps them not feel like, oh, I'm not the only one. And maybe they have the wrong answer, but maybe three other students do as well, so they don't feel, as by themselves. And also intervene immediately. If a student does respond and it was the wrong answer, don't be like, oh, you're wrong and move on. Find a way to work through it and help them figure out the answer. Maybe use the class. Then they have this use estimation and prediction. It really using open-ended questions. Finding ways to make sure that they're thinking creatively and outside the box, as well as these lower risk with small group practice and learning from mistakes. Small groups help also feel not quite so isolated, as well as learning from your mistakes, kind of as to what we said before about retesting. Um, so this one is on intelligence and motivation, and you students always saying that I realize that's a typo. They think that they can't change their brains. Or do your students think they can change their brains? Well, guess what? They can. Your brain is actually growing as you're learning. So you want to reduce negativity by improving the classroom environment as well. So there are a few strategies to help with your, just helping them learn. Practice relaxation techniques. Calming down, just some simple breathing exercises. Even there's some easy methods for working on that, as well as inserting humor, visuals, and stories. This one is really fun for me. I think math jokes are hilarious. Obviously, not everyone does, but it can be entertaining. And just having some pictures, just numbers is kind of frightening, as well as some stories. Working through how to explain something. Maybe this story type of thing is really going to help for some of them. And then, create positive teacher student relationships. You want them to be comfortable with you. Also, lowering stress by increasing class participation. Don't have them just sitting there listening to you preach to them. You want to have them participate. And you want them to have self reliance on themselves. Don't be so afraid just because you answered it doesn't mean it's wrong. So just a little more on this, and this is more on the motivation side, or as I said in the title, focused. You want to everyone think boring is your most common explanation for why they hate math. So you want to know their background so you can know how to engage them. Right? What are they interested in, so that you know what to engage them in. Maybe they don't like Pokemon, so you don't want to use Pokemon. So there's a couple strategies for that listed here. Engaging with novelty, change, and surprise. Just introducing something different and interesting. Maybe change your voice. Talk like Yoda or something. It's funny. Reinforce achievable challenge with friendly numbers. Make them test you to show them that, oh wow, my teacher is actually cool. Build some curiosity and positive anticipation. Make them want to know. To question what's coming. Use an opening. Create unit titles. This is working with your class to create cool names, and then use these little break times to help them. Just take a break from the material for a minute. And I'm going to pause this.